Welcome to our video on Beltane 2019 astrology chart forecast, including planetary archangels Anael, Sachiel, and Asariel. Also, zodiac angels, ingresses, both natural and hourly horoscope houses, stations, and planetary aspects, and the May 1st celebrations. Now, May 1st celebrates the festival of Beltane for Wiccans. It's also St. Joseph the Workers' Day for Catholics, and May Day for secular or non-religious people and workers, okay? Now, the Sun will be conjunct Uranus, and the Moon will be square Mars and Jupiter on May 1st. These zodiacal facets are sure to cause some tension between various ruling or tribal authorities, which can be wisely used and utilized to bring success and prosperity to celestial and mundane festivals alike. We will also be providing you with accurate corresponding planetary archangels and zodiac angels to evoke towards making your gatherings fun and fruitful celebrations, so you can really pull in the power of these angelic forces that are going to be lining up precisely with the horoscope and zodiacal aspects. So they really, you're not just calling in any old angel any old time. You're calling in specific angelic forces for specific events and for specific purposes. Now, first, our disclaimer: watching this video or reading the document attached to it is an act of spiritual willpower, and any such action is considered magic. High magic should be used with all mindfulness, since powerful forces of manifestation are unleashed. This is intended exclusively for entertainment purposes. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. I'm a Rosicrucian seer, biblical astrologer, and Gnostic mystic, and this is a Readings by Rosemary angelic transmission. Now, Beltane festivals, May Day or Maypole celebrations, and the feast day of St. Joseph the Worker occurs on May 1st, 2019. The Maypole is when people dance around a pole carrying streamers, which they then decorate, and it kind of makes a braided effect around the Maypole. Okay. Now, we have selected for this May astrology chart, we've selected 11 a.m. using Greenwich Mean Time for our hourly house calculations. Remember that this would be 12 p.m. noon if we were going to apply daylight savings time to this chart. Now, we are including planetary aspects, also stations, natural houses, and horoscope houses associated with planetary placements, as well as hourly houses respectively. Okay, now we're going to begin with the Sun in Taurus, and we're going to look at the chart for May 1st of 2019 for the Beltane festivals and the various other festivals that are going to be occurring on this day. And the Sun is going to be in Taurus, the bull, at 10 degrees 47 minutes in the 10th house. Now, this chart here has to do with the ingresses of new and full moons in May in general of 2019. So we have a video that we prepared for you for that, where we're going to focus on this chart for that other video. You can watch that. So you can kind of see what's highlighted here for this month. But we're going to focus in this particular video on, again, May 1st, because of the Beltane festival. And we have the planetary aspects for you here. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it in a little closer for you so you can see it a little bit better. Okay. All right. Now, again, we have the Sun in the sign of Taurus, the bull, at 10 degrees 47 minutes in 10th house, which is similar to the sign of Capricorn, of social standing and fame. Taurus's divine tone is I have. So that's a natural second house. Planetary Archangel Michael visits habitation of Zodiac Angel Asmodel. Archangel Michael is associated with the Merkaba field, which is for fire. Okay? And also, though Michael is associated with the Sun. So Taurus is a earth sign, but Michael is associated, a planetary archangel of the Sun, but also associated with all of the air elements. Taurus would be an earth Merkaba field for earth. Okay. Now, Moon in Aries at 0 degrees. So we have the Moon here in the sign of Aries, the Ram, at 0 degrees 18 minutes in 9th house, which is similar to the sign of Sagittarius, which is your life path meaning. Now, Aries divine tone is I am. Aries is akin to the natural first house. Now, planetary archangel Gabriel visits dwelling of zodiac angel Mechidael. So Aries would be a fire sign, and the moon is, the planetary archangel of the moon is Gabriel, associated with the water Merkaba field. Also, this is associated again with the moon, okay, planet of the moon. So you see that the archangels are not only elemental over the four elements of fire, water, air, and earth, but they're also fire, water, air, and earth, but they're also associated, some of them with planets, okay? Okay, now we have next Venus. We have the planet Venus is going to be in the sign of Aries, the ram, on the 1st, at 13 degrees, 4 minutes in the 9th house, which is similar to the sign of Sagittarius, of life path meaning. Again, Aries divine tone is I am, akin to the natural first house. The planetary archangel Anael visits the habitation of zodiac angel Mechidael. Okay, Mechidael. Again, Aries is considered a fire sign. Okay, Aries is considered a fire sign. So we also have Mars in Gemini. Here, Mars in Gemini at 20 degrees, 28 minutes in the 11th house, which is similar to the sign of Aquarius, of friends and reputation. Gemini's divine tone is I think, and that's akin to the natural 3rd house. Now, planetary seraphim Samael visits the dwelling of zodiac angel Umbriel. So, Gemini is an air sign, and this is the Merkaba field for air, for all the air signs. Okay? Now, Jupiter is retrograde. Jupiter here retrograde in Sagittarius at 23 degrees, 41 minutes in 5th house, which is similar to the sign of Leo the lion, of children and creativity. Sagittarius's divine tone is I perceive. And Sagittarius is akin to the natural 9th house, okay? Now, planetary archangel Sachiel visits the abode of zodiac angel Adnachiel. Sagittarius is a fire sign, all right? So remember, Jupiter retrograde in Sagittarius. Saturn also is retrograde on the 1st. We have Saturn retrograde in the sign of Capricorn the goat at 20 degrees 31 minutes in 6th house, which is similar to the sign of Virgo the Virgin, of habits and health. Now, Capricorn's divine tone is I use. Okay, Capricorn is akin to the natural 10th house. Now, planetary archangel Cassiel of Saturn visits habitation of zodiac angel Hanael. Capricorn is an earth sign, kind of a three-dimensional Star of David for that earth Merkaba field. Okay. Now, the planet Uranus is on the 1st in the sign of Taurus, the bull, at 3 degrees 0 minutes in 10th house, which is similar to the sign of Capricorn, of social standing and fame. Taurus's divine tone is I have, again akin to the natural 2nd house, which is about money and possessions. Now, planetary archangel Ariel, not Uriel with the U-R-I-E-L, but it's Ariel with the A-U-R-I-E-L, for planetary archangel for Uranus. Okay, Ariel, A-U-R-I-E-L, visits dwelling of zodiac angel Asmodel for Taurus. Taurus again is an earth sign. Okay, and Taurus is akin to the 2nd house of money and possessions. I have is the divine tone. Capricorn with the 10th house of social standing and fame. Okay, now, Capricorn, because it's in the 10th house, so this Uranus is in Taurus, but it's in the 10th house, which is similar to Capricorn. Okay, now Neptune is in Pisces. Neptune in Pisces at 18 degrees 2 minutes in 8th house, which is similar to the sign of Scorpio, of birth, sex, death, and debt. Divine tone is I. For Pisces is I believe. For Pisces, I believe. Planetary archangel Sariel visits abode of zodiac angel Amethyst. Now, the divine tone I believe is Neptune in Pisces, okay, and also Neptune is the 2nd ruler of Pisces, so that's an important. And also Pluto is excuse me, we'll do that next. Neptune is in Pisces again. It's at 18 degrees. Okay, now Pisces is akin to the natural 12th house of spirituality, but Neptune and Pisces in the 8th house, according to the hourly, but the factions of what we plugged in the 11 a.m. But when you're talking about the house that Pisces is similar to, it's similar to the 12th house of spirituality. Okay, now Scorpio is similar to the 8th house, okay, which is a birth, sex, death, and debt, and that's the hourly again. Okay, now Pluto is retrograde. Okay, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, the sign of Capricorn, the goat, at 23 degrees 8 minutes in the 6th house, which is similar to the sign of Virgo, the Virgin of habits and health. Okay, that's the hourly. Now Capricorn's divine tone is I used. Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. Capricorn's akin to the natural 10th house. Okay, planetary archangel Azrael visits habitation of zodiac angel Haniel. Now the North Node is also retrograde here in the sign of Cancer, the crab, at 21 degrees 11 minutes in 12th house, which is similar to the sign of Pisces of spirituality. Cancer's divine tone is I feel. Planetary archangel Gabriel rules over Luna, and due to this aspect associates with the sign of Cancer, the crab, which is ruled by the moon. This is retrograde, in this retrograde station, there is often a nostalgic or sort of an unresolved feeling which might need to be revisited for further healing. Now, Cancer the crab is a nurturing sign, so make sure to nurture those qualities in yourself that you wish to cultivate for health and happiness, while ignoring the attributes in yourself that you do not want to have in your life. Okay? If you don't want something in your life, ignore it. Easier said than done, but that's the way to go about it. Okay? Try not to nurture things you don't like. Okay? Try to nurture things you do like, and things that make you feel well. Okay? Now we chose again 11 a.m. for the hourly house calculations, 12 p.m. noon if applying daylight savings time, which reveal 12th house qualities of spirituality akin to the sign of Pisces the fish for the North Node. North Node, the true node, the North Node. This places the South Node in the 6th house, which attributes analogous to the sign of Virgo, the Virgin, the 6th house. Now that's habits and health. Okay. Now, therefore, one must make sure to prioritize and take care of oneself and listen to one's body when it comes to daily routines and health habits, and balance these with any spiritual path or religion that one is following. Now, okay, we're talking about the South Node in the sign of Capricorn, but when you plug in the hourly, that would be for the May Day, for the hourly, you come up with this 12th house of spirituality. Okay, that's how that works. Now, with this in mind, remember, you got to make sure you take care of yourself, and make sure you listen to your own body when it comes to your daily routines and your health habits, and balance these with any spiritual, or path or any religion that you're following, or any tradition that you're following, or spiritual path, whatever you're doing. Now, the South Node placement in the sign of Capricorn, the goat, the divine tone of that is I use. Now, the North Node being Cancer, the crab, has a divine tone of I feel. Okay? And now, the North Node represents an individual's path in this current incarnation, whereas the South Node represents the past life incarnations that one might have. Now, the astrological formula for a Capricorn, the goat, South Node, past life with the divine tone of I use, and the Cancer, the crab, North Node, present an incarnation with the divine tone of I feel. Is that a person who knows how to utilize people and creatures, both flora and fauna, for either personal or organizational gain, begin to understand and sympathize with others when considering relationships between self and not self. This comprehension explains what a monad is in the teachings of Kabbalah regarding the monad. It's a concept, the monad. It's explained by Dion Fortune, authoress of The Mystical Kabbalah, a book she wrote which was first published in England in 1935. and then reprinted by Samuel Weiser Incorporated in 1984. She explains in her book that, quote, God is pressure, unquote, when referring to the inner center circle of the monad coming into balance with the outer peripheral circle. A monad diagram is simply like it's really pretty much like this. It's just a peripheral outer circle with a smaller circle in the center. Same like the sun, you know. It's a center circle with an outer circle. We have self, and all this is not self. It's actually all one. Self and not self is actually all one. All right. Now, we're going to, right now, I'm going to, can you guys get me the book? I'm going to try to get the book so I can show you guys the book here. The Mystical Kabbalah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Okay. This is the book. Diana Fortune's The Mystical Kabbalah. It's a really good book. It's even though the topic may be considered kind of complicated, Kabbalah, it's actually, she spells it with a Q, you know, Kabbalah and one B, and H on the end. This book is actually easy to read, even though the ideas are elegant and they're also complex, but they're done so elegantly. They're sublime, and the writing is so elegant. It's a book we highly recommend that you get and study if you're at all interested in Kabbalah, where she talks about God being pressure. Okay, and of course she studied with in some very powerful organizations, and in some of the same organizations as Aleister Crowley and MacGregor Mathers studied. You know, so there, you know, she has a lot of very good influence. Okay. Now, planetary aspects for this May 1st, we have the Sun conjunct Uranus here. We also have Moon square Jupiter. So we have the Sun square Uranus, excuse me, the Sun conjunct Uranus, the Sun conjunct Uranus in Taurus. We have the Moon square Jupiter. So the Moon here is square Jupiter here, the red line. And we have Mercury sextile Mars with the green line. We have Mercury sextile Mars here. We have Mercury trine Jupiter. Mercury here in Aries trine the purple line Jupiter, retrograde Jupiter in Sagittarius. Mercury square Saturn, we have Mercury in Aries, square Saturn, the red line in here. Here we have Capricorn, Mercury square Saturn. Mercury square Pluto also. So we have Pluto here retrograde, and the Mercury square Pluto goes here. Okay, it's another red line. Now Mars, we're going to put this up on our Facebook page, Readings by Rosemary Facebook page. You can see it more closely if you want to see it. Now Mars sextile Mercury. So we have Mars here in Gemini, and the green line sextile Mercury in Aries. We have Mars opposing Jupiter. So Mars here in Gemini, opposing the dark red line, Jupiter, which is retrograde, in Sagittarius. Mars opposing Jupiter. Mars square Neptune. Mars here in Gemini square Neptune in Pisces. Remember, Neptune rules Pisces here, square on that red line. Okay, so we also have Jupiter square the Moon, which we talked about already. Jupiter square the Moon. Jupiter in Sagittarius square the Moon here in Aries. Jupiter trine Mercury. We have Jupiter on this purple line trine Mercury in Aries, Jupiter being in Sagittarius. Jupiter opposing Mars again. Jupiter opposing Mars in Gemini. Jupiter in Sagittarius. Jupiter square Neptune. So Jupiter in Sagittarius on the red line square Neptune in Pisces. Saturn square Mercury. So we have Saturn retrograde in Capricorn square and the red line here, Mercury in Aries. Saturn sextile Neptune. So retrograde, Saturn retrograde in Capricorn, that's going to be sextile Neptune here on the green line in Pisces. So that's Saturn sextile Neptune. We have Saturn conjunct Pluto. So Saturn retrograde and Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, and the south node all in Capricorn. Okay. Uranus is conjunct the Sun. So Uranus and the Sun both in Taurus there. And Neptune square Mars. So Mars in Gemini square Neptune on the red line in Pisces. Neptune square Jupiter. We have Neptune in Pisces square Jupiter, which is retrograde in Sagittarius. Again on the red line there. And we have Neptune sextile Saturn. So retrograde Saturn in Capricorn, sextile Neptune in Pisces on that green line. Okay? And Pluto square Mercury. So Pluto here retrograde in Capricorn, square Mercury in Aries. And Pluto conjunct Saturn, again Saturn retrograde in Capricorn, and Pluto retrograde also in Capricorn. Now regarding the progression of the equinoxes, the debate that that people like to talk about, seasonal considerations must be taken into account, and environmental conditions also, and therefore cultural Western astrological calculations, Earth-centric systems are just as valuable, just as accurate as solar-centric systems. Now having your charts done in Western, Vedic, and Chinese astrology gives you a much better look at the whole picture. You can really get an idea of what's going on if you look at all of these kinds of charts. And all of these are various aspects of God's great clock. All right. Information found in this document is based on the oral tradition known as Kabbalah, taught to me by Rosicrucian clergy when I was but a young girl, the facts of which I have committed to memory. Thank you for joining us, and please join us again.